My third project is an agent-based system to explore spatial arrangements of buildings. It is composed of two parts. The first part, on the right of the screen, is an interactive bubble diagram implemented in Python mode for processing. So what's a bubble diagram? Basically, is a diagram in which you represent the spaces of a building as bubbles, and you can create connections between these bubbles. So I'll just create some bubbles right now. And you can see that I have different spaces here and one connection. Let me remove some of them. Okay. So right now I have 4 bubbles and these 2 spaces are connected. This diagram focus on the fast representation of design proposals with the support of some event-based functions that control the position, the size, and the connections. So I used some physical simulation to help the designer to create a diagram without worrying too much about the details. So you can create a bubble right here and it's going to organize it, self-organize here. I'll create other connections. I'll use some names. This is going to be the hall. This is going to be the entrance. I will remove this connection here. And let's say that I have different rooms around the hall. So this is room 1. And I have room 2, room 3, room 4. Let's change the names. 2, 3, and 4. All these rooms are connected to the hall. And I have a special place here, that's the auditorium. And it has a different size, so the hall too. And I have 2 spaces that I don't know yet what I'm going to do. So let's start here. Let me create more connections. Let me put here. So the hall is kind of a central space, and there are other spaces around it. And right now I have a sketch of a possible configuration. I have the auditorium in the front of the site and the hall in the center. But let's say that I don't want the auditorium to be here. I want it to be in this corner. So I can lock the auditorium and I can move it around. So it's going to be right here. I'll do the same thing with the entrance. It's going to be in this other corner here. And I'll let the other elements just move around. Let me change the names. This is going to be the restroom. This is going to be a cafe. The cafe is going to be near the entrance and the hall. And the restroom is going to be only connected to the hall. Alright, so I have a different arrangement. I can, let's say that they are crowded, so I use repulsion so they can move around for a little bit and then they go back. And I have a different arrangement, or I can reset the system and I can explore another arrangement. Or let me say that the hall is not in a good position. For a moment I can lock it and can move it to this corner. And right now I'm going to unlock the hall. And it's going to be in the center. So this is the basic idea. So I have a bubble diagram and I use connections here. These connections are translated to forces in this environment. These bubbles are translated to agents. And I also have some forces related to the environment, related to the boundary of the building. So I can change the boundary of my building and I'm going to change the agents' positions. So I can change the height. I can change, let me say that I have a taller building with more floors here, or I can have a different occupation. Okay, right now I have a very compact building. They are organized in 3 floors, and I can use this for my project. This could be like the first arrangement. The goal of the system is to create alternatives for design exploration. Right now, the system is very simple. There are not so many rules. There are not constraints from proportion of the rooms or rules for the circulation. But even though it's possible to create basic configurations to support design exploration, I'll show just 3 alternatives from this last experiment. This is the horizontal occupation with the auditorium in this corner, the entrance here, the hall here. We had also a building in this part of the site with the auditorium on the second floor, or maybe a taller building in this part of the site with the auditorium in this corner. And this is a 3D modeling environment, so I can use these alternatives to generate other resources as a volume of the building. So this is the main idea, generating alternatives for design exploration.